Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Excuse me, I got 1 hour and we're going to talk, but I just want to correct something real quick and then I'm going to jump right into it. And I'm not going to slow down once I get going, man. So let me do this real quick. All right, what's up, Mel, man? How you doing? We're going to talk some boxing. Let me just upload this thumbnail real quick. And we're going to blaze through this. You know, I don't waste time on here and talk nonsense, man. Once I get going, I get going. Okay, I just updated that. And let me go here. Let me click on this real quick. Save that. I think I'm good there. Details. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get this going. Berlanga versus Plant need to happen. I agree with you. We're about to just jump into this, man. I'm gonna talk about it. Okay, let me pause that. All right. Now I'm in there, man. First of all, welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports, man. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Make sure you like and subscribe. Leave that donation for that fried rice and chicken wings. Look, man. Okay, we can jump right in. Berlanga and Plant need to happen. I'm telling you right now, Caleb Plant and Berlanga need to happen. Now, the question is who wins that fight? And I'm going to be honest with you. You know, in my opinion, Edgar Berlanga will beat Caleb Plant. Just looking at Caleb Plant, you know, don't get me wrong. He's a left-handed, but he fights orthodox. So he's got the big boom and the left hook. Canelo landed the big boom left hook. Berlanga was able to drop him. But I think that fight with Berlanga, when he fought Canelo, Berlanga was just showing too much respect, too timid, and he was all defense. Berlanga, to me, never gave himself a chance to win that fight. Had Berlanga let his hands go, I predicted he would beat him. But again, to me, he didn't give himself a chance to win. Now, going in against Caleb Plant, Berlanga is going to have all the confidence in the world. You know, he's bigger than him. He's stronger than him. I think he's more durable than Caleb Plant. And I just think Caleb Plant, the first 4 rounds could be pretty interesting because Caleb Plant can box. And with Caleb Plant, he showed you when he fought Benavidez, you know, you got to kill him. And that's damn near what Benavidez did to him. Even when he fought Canelo, he had a lot of success when he fought Canelo. But again, he ended up damn near getting killed. So it's one of those fights where some people like the mailman thinks it's 50-50, but he's leaning towards Berlanga. And I'm going to tell you, I think that shit is like 60-40, but I could understand thinking it's 50-50, definitely. Alexander Wilson says, I don't think highly of Berlanga. He fought a nobody last night and that didn't tell me anything. No, and Wilson, I don't disagree with what you're saying about the guy he fought. You know what I'm saying? He fought, what's the guy's name, man? Delonte West and shit. But nonetheless, Berlanga has power, man. And even when he fought Canelo, you saw when he did decide to let his hands go, Canelo didn't like what was coming back at him. And Berlanga, to me, got the best of some of those exchanges. He just didn't do enough. But if you go to his fights before that, you know, Berlanga is a mentally tough guy. And I'm looking at Caleb Plant. Look, in Caleb Plant's last fight, he was all over the place. He fought somebody who, you know, every time he hit him, he was putting him down. Really, Caleb Plant, that fight should have been stopped. But, you know, a little bit of secret society in there. He got the hookup. But then Caleb Plant made the adjustments he needed to make. When he made those adjustments, he damn near killed that dude, McCumbee. I just don't see Caleb Plant getting the opportunities like he had against McCumbee. I don't see him getting those opportunities against a guy like Edgar Berlanga. Edgar Berlanga I think he's improved. And even with him missing the weight, look, man, it's an Eddie Hearn production. You know what I'm saying? Eddie Hearn needed him to win. Berlanga needed to win. He needed to have a huge knockout. The guy he fought, man, the guy he turned pro in 2009. He disappeared from the sports for 10 years. He returned like 3-4 years ago and only had 3 fights. The people he was fighting had records of like 5-23 and shit like that, like horrible records. So it's not like he went in there and was fighting, Dimitri Bivol. You know what I'm saying? He went in there and fought a tomato can, and he did what he was supposed to do to the tomato can, and as a result, it got us all talking about Berlanga and Caleb Plant. Now, what's going to make it interesting to me is a lot of people still don't know much about Edgar Berlanga's coach, but we know a little bit about Caleb Plant's coach, Breadman. And I really think it's going to come down to see what kind of game plan and strategy Breadman can put together to ensure that Caleb Plant can get the shots off that he needs to slow down and discourage a guy like Edgar Berlanga. I'm going to tell you right now, if you can't hurt Berlanga, you may hit him, you may catch him, but if you can't hurt him or give him something to think about, right, you're going to have a long night. And even with Canelo, you saw later in the fight when Berlanga chose to really hold his ground and fight, he was still in there. It's not like he was hurt. He was still in there. So Berlanga's got some talent, and people shouldn't sleep on Berlanga. And I'm not saying all these things about Berlanga because he went in there and clipped the guy from My House Is Dirty Red. You know, that's not what I'm doing. I just got to be real. And with Caleb Plant, I'm watching him in his eyes, and Caleb Plant will fight. Caleb Plant can scrap. But I'm just not sure Caleb Plant, who has no power in that right hand, right? He has absolutely no power in that right hand. I'm not sure the left hand alone is going to be enough for him to get in there and dominate a big, strong guy like Edgar Berlanga, all right? There is always a chance because in boxing, the best doesn't always win. It's the fighter who boxes the best on that night. Plant could somehow get that left hand in there because he throws the hook. That's his money punch because he's naturally left-handed, but he fights orthodox. There's a chance he can get that shit in there. I don't see it. I don't see it. And if it does, I don't see it doing that much damage to Berlanga. I think Berlanga scoffs it off, laughs at him, gets his high guard up, and starts to walk him down like Canelo did. And I think by round 5, Plant starts to get a bit winded because he's got this big New York monster that's just coming in, man, trying to chop him down limb by limb. And Plant's going to take another loss. But you can't count Plant out. I'm just being as fair as possible to both combatants. You know what I'm saying? Males leading to Berlanga. Plant stopped the bull rush by putting McCumbee in a phone booth. That was tough by Plant. Yeah, but the thing is, McCumbee didn't know what to do fighting the inside. Edgar Berlanga can fight on the inside. Edgar Berlanga can fight on the inside and the outside. And I really think that experience he had with Canelo opened his eyes. Now, at the same time, I do think Edgar Berlanga took it to the stupid a little bit with going out here celebrating his loss. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, look, I didn't get knocked out by Canelo. Hey, world, look at me. Now, I don't admire that. But at the same time, I think it was more than just I didn't lose. I think it's the fact that he made, multiples of millions of dollars at a young age. What most people come into boxing for, right? It's a combination of things, but I think money definitely. Some people want championships and legacy. Berlanga was able to come in, and within a few years, this man was able to make the kind of money most boxers never make, okay? So he has every right to be out here feeling good about himself and partying in Puerto Rico. But at the same time, he learned a lot from that Canelo fight, just like Canelo learned a lot from Floyd. I watched how Berlanga was throwing them hooks last night. Although he had a guy who was standing in front of him, stupidly standing in front of him, and Berlanga fought with a deathly passion to get him out of there because he wants Eddie Hearn to keep working with him. I just felt that the way he was throwing those shots, man, looked a lot more crisp, and they were on target. So I think he learned a lot from the Canelo fight. But that being said, going forward, I just think Plant needs to be careful. I know Berlanga's called out Munguia as well. Plant fights to win, so this could be a make or break for Berlanga. It could be make or break for both. But the thing about Munguia, before I would have said Munguia would beat Berlanga. But I'm going to tell you, I think Berlanga beats Plant, and I think he may beat Munguia. This is the problem with Munguia. He was out there working with his original trainer in Mexico. Then he went to Eric Morales. Then he went to Freddie Roach. Now he's back over. Now he's over here with Eddie Reynoso. Let me tell you something. Eddie Reynoso is a one-fighter trainer. The man's a one-fighter trainer. I mean, Andy Ruiz went over there. Andy Ruiz wanted to be the heavyweight Mexican Canelo. You know what I'm saying? He went over there and if anything, he became a goddamn laughing stock of boxing because Eddie Reynoso is only one Canelo. It's just like with Floyd Mayweather, man. You know what I mean? Roger Mayweather and Floyd, that's a dynamic duo, man. You know, you got Virgil Hill. Yeah, I think it's Virgil Hill. Virgil Hunter, the guy who coached Andre Ward. To me, he's a one-fighter trainer as well. I'm not saying they can't help people, but sometimes the training style suits certain fighters, and it's only that fighter that can really excel underneath them. And that's just how I feel. So Munguia going in to fight a guy like Berlanga, you know, maybe he does some things well. Maybe he has some success, but I don't know. I just have a feeling Berlanga will clip him. Now, this shit about Jamal Charlo. Jamal Charlo does not need to be enticed into returning to that ring and fighting Edgar Berlanga. Edgar Berlanga right now, as long as he can deal with Jamal's jab, although Jamal's been out of the sport for a while, Jamal Charlo's jab, if he stays behind that jab, he can sit there and win a fight, just like Larry Holmes used to do, just like Ike Corte used to do. You know what I'm saying? Winky Wright used to do. Jamal Charlo's jab alone can win a fight. I just don't think it's going to be enough to offset everything that Berlanga brings to the table for him to get the victory. That being said, I think Berlanga will clip him. But for those fans who say, "Nah, hood champion, you're wrong. The best need to fight the best. Jamal's one of the best. Doesn't matter that he's been inactive. He needs to come back and fight Berlanga." Hey, yo, hold your horses. Let's not take it to the stupid. I get it. The best should fight the best. I get it. Really, I do. But at the same time, what you trying to do to this man? This guy's just going to come back after years of inactivity, personal issues, professional issues. Seems like there was a bit of substance abuse going on as well. And you're going to throw him in the ring with Berlanga? Man, get out of here, man. So I understand being a boxing fan, but you can't be a cockhole. You know what I'm saying? It's just like people out here saying that Virgil Ortiz, right, who fought Bohachuk. He happened to win. I thought he lost, but it doesn't matter. He got the win. Fought Majumov, got the win. And people are mad at Virgil Ortiz and Golden Boy for not putting him in with Murtazaliev. Oh, the best should fight the best. They got in boxing for the best to fight the best, right? So Virgil Ortiz, he's putting duck sauce in that fried rice like you say, hood champion. Yeah, they put some duck sauce on the carne asada. They did. However, I understand. You can't put him up against three killers like that. Hard-ass fights. You're trying to shave. He already had some years shaved off of his boxing career from the rhabdomyolysis. Now you want to put him in with three killers back-to-back? Nah, the man's career will be cut short. I think it would end after the Murtazaliev fight. But that being said, Berlanga beats Plant. He beats Charlo. And Munguia is the one that's the wild card. I think he even beats Munguia. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see what Berlanga's next move is. But the one thing I can say before I go on to the next topic is Berlanga is, in fact, going to continue working with Eddie Hearn because Eddie Hearn's looking to just make money. And the one thing about Eddie Hearn, he's a promoter. These promoters, they don't want to put their money up. That's why they were complaining, years ago about if fighters can't put butts in the seats, if they can't elevate their profiles, and they can't, turn a profit. Promoters were cutting ties with him, especially Eddie Hearn. Turkey Al-Sheikh came on the scene. When Turkey's in the house, every day's Thanksgiving, right? So the promoters don't have to put money up anymore. But now Turkey Al-Sheikh's doing this, this TKO boxing league and all that shit. But I think he's still going to work with some of the promoters. So I think Eddie Hearn's going to try to finagle away to make sure it's not his money getting put up to make a fight with Berlanga and Plant or something like that. But we just got to wait and see. Since I was talking about Tim Tszyu, we might as well talk about Kambosos and Tim Tszyu. Look, I'm all about the Aussies. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. But, man, come on. Alexander Wilson says, Virgil Ortiz said he's still recovering from injuries that he sustained in the Majumov fight. He said he can't fight until the fall, so any fight talks now are nonsense. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because he got the bing bings put on him. You know what I'm saying? Define irony. What's up, man? He says, salute, hood. Same to you. But it makes sense, man. But the Australian fighters, look, man, Kambosos will fight you. But let's be real now. Kambosos coming back to fight Jordanis, whatever his name is, man. You know how long Jordan been boxing? But I think he's going to shock everybody. He's going to clip Kambosos. But Kambosos has just crashed and burned, and I think the stars just lined up for him when he fought Teofimo. let's ask the real question is, should Kambosos have ever beat Teofimo Lopez? See, that's the real question. Because I see some people out here like, oh, I can't believe Kambosos has been losing these fights. He looked so spectacular against Teofimo. Maybe Teofimo looked so horrible. Maybe Teofimo really, the issue with his lungs and heart, maybe that was something serious. It sure as hell sounds significant enough to me to create problems in the ring. Maybe the fact that Teofimo had made weight months ago when they're supposed to fight on Triller and had to keep his weight to a place where only he has to maintain it for a moment in time. He had to maintain it for months. So maybe all that shit contributed to him looking the way he did when he fought Kambosos. In addition to that, remember when Teofimo was out here looking like a killer when he fought Kome, when he fought Lomachenko, he had Joey Gamache in the corner training him with his dad. They didn't have Joey Gamache for Kambosos because Top Rank wasn't giving them allowance to pay for that extra help. As a result, it was just Teofimo and his dad. And you saw when Teofimo got in the ring, the advice his dad was giving him was like, kick his ass, kick his effing ass. What the F, bro? Just kick his ass. He didn't give him any guidance. So anyway, stars lined up, Kambosos got the win. But since then, Kambosos has just crashed and burned. You know, he lost to Devin twice, which, you know, I thought if it went to a decision, they would jerk him in Saudi. But Devin, he beat him so convincingly that they couldn't jerk him. Okay, so he fought him twice, got the wins. Then Kambosos comes to the States, has a fight. He really lost it. You know, they hooked him up, gave him the win. Then he comes out and messes around with Lomachenko. Lomachenko almost kills this dude. So Kambosos, although he was an undisputed champion, he was really a C+ level fighter. You know what I'm saying? A+ level heart, A+ level grit, you know, A+ level determination, but really a C+ level fighter. Stars just lined up where he happened to catch an elite fighter, an A+ level fighter on a bad night. And it happens in boxing. So Tim Tszyu is really the only hope, but let's be real. Tim Tszyu took a lot of damage when he fought Fundora. They both inflicted a lot of damage upon each other. But then he went into a bow hook and almost got killed. All right? To think Tim Tszyu is going to come back, I know he's fighting Joey Spencer. Spencer can fight, and he's got power. But Tim Tszyu, hopefully he wins that fight. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I like Tim Tszyu. I like the Aussie fighters. But I want to see Tim Tszyu fight Keith Thurman. But I'm going to tell you this. I wouldn't bet on Tim Tszyu beating this guy Spencer. Because when you get in hard fights like what Tim Tszyu has been in his last couple fights, it takes a pound of flesh out of you, okay? You can't make me believe that Tim Tszyu, present day, is the same Tim Tszyu who got in the ring with Fundora. He's not the same fighter. He's taken damage. He's gotten hurt. And I believe when he gets in that ring, if he gets hit, he's going to start to relive some of those moments and shit. It's like having PTSD. He's going to get hit, and I don't think he's going to stand there and hold his ground. I think Tim Tszyu, if anything, is going to be here trying to, you know, have a lot of head movement, man, and be more defensively minded instead of just being all gas, no brakes, which is what helped him be very successful. It's kind of like Rolly Romero. Rolly Romero was all gas, no brakes when he was under Coach Bullet, and that's what made him successful. He was wild. You didn't know what to expect from Rolly, and he could crack. But then he came out here after he left Coach Bullet. He's fighting under Salas. He's trying to float like a butterfly and stinging like a bee, and he's out here getting the shit beat out of him. So with Tim Tszyu, I think he's going to kind of walk the same path as Rolly and try to be more of a boxer and do things that is just not in his DNA. I think he should stick with what he does great. But of course, he needs to work on the head movement. He can't just walk straight in on fighters, especially at the level that Tim Tszyu is fighting. But anyway, we'll see how that fight goes. But Tim Tszyu and Keith Thurman, I'm telling you right now, Keith Thurman will knock Tim Tszyu out. Keith Thurman will knock Tim Tszyu out, man. I don't think Tim Tszyu will stand a chance in him. Now, I'm not just saying that because Keith Thurman came out here and clipped this unknown knockout artist. No. Keith Thurman got some ring rust off. He's going to keep getting the rust off. And if he and Tim Tszyu fight after Tim Tszyu fights this guy Spence, and if he wins, Keith Thurman is going to be even more polished. And Tim Tszyu is going to have a tough time with it. I just think that lateral movement, the fact that Keith Thurman is one of the few, no kidding, boxer punchers. Keith Thurman can walk you down and knock you out, will plant his feet and knock you out. Keith Thurman can be moving and still knock you out. You know, not many fighters can hit you and knock you out while they're moving. There's only a few. Usyk can do it. Lomachenko can do it. Floyd was a guy who can do it. There aren't many who can actually move like that and hit you while they're moving and hurt you and knock you out. So Tim Tszyu and Keith Thurman, I just think that's all bad medicine for Tim Tszyu, man. But hey, best of luck to him. But as far as the Aussie fighters, I mean, outside of Tim Tszyu and Kambosos, they got to hope Tara Moana can come out here and do something. Jaya Pataya can keep getting busy. Some people don't even know who Tara Moana is. He fought Jalalov in the Olympics. Tara Moana is fighting. He's an Australian fighter heavyweight. That dude gets busy, man. But as far as Kambosos and Tim Tszyu, I think their time has run its course, and I'm not sure what more they can offer to the sport of boxing except being a big name and a stepping stone for other fighters. Okay, Nick Ball, Inoue, and Shu-Shu. Yo, Nick Ball is a problem. That little 5'2", 5'3", English fighter, man, pit bull, whatever you want to call him, that dude is a problem. You get in the ring with Nick Ball, and he catch your ass slipping, he will knock you out. And Nick Ball's vicious, man. He kind of reminds me of Tank in the sense of he just doesn't care how he hurts you. You know what I mean? You saw yesterday he kicked Doheny, but I can't blame him for kicking him. For those of you who didn't realize that Doheny was choking him. So he was choking him. So after Nick Ball finally got, released, he kicked him and shit. That shit was funny, but I don't blame Nick Ball. But that being said, Nick Ball anyway, Nick Ball posted something and Inoue commented. So I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know about later this year because I think Turki Al-Sheikh's trying to make Inoue and Nakatani. But that being said, Nick Ball, he may end up having to fight a guy like Bruce Carrington. Bruce Carrington's ranked number 2 in the WBA. Nick Ball's a WBA champion. But that being said, let's just look at Inoue and Nick Ball. Inoue can box. Inoue hits hard. And Inoue fought Doheny. Doheny's the fighter that Nick Ball fought yesterday. Inoue hit Doheny so hard, he paralyzed the man's spine. Y'all saw that shit? It was like in Mortal Kombat when they do one of them finishing moves and the spine just cracks and shit. Inoue hit that man so hard, he cracked his spine. He paralyzed him. I said, Jesus Christ. Inoue hitting like that. So to think Nick Ball, who I think he has respectful power, but he ain't got Inoue power. Nick Ball and Inoue, and Nick Ball's coming straight at you. Man, y'all watch something, right? When Inoue throws a combination, he may throw boom, 1, 2. When he throws the right hand, he steps out on the angle, he gets underneath the punch, and now he's in a totally different position. So when Inoue fights, these are little subtle things that people don't see. Inoue, I think, would knock Nick Ball out, man. I think he knocks him out. You know what I'm saying? This guy says, Naoya Inoue. Yeah, anyway. But anyway, Inoue, I think, knocks out Nick Ball. I think Nick Ball will make it fun. I just think within the first 3 rounds, Nick Ball will get knocked out cold. He's too much of a pit bull. He has pretty good defense. He has great timing. He's explosive. But I just think, man, even if he has a little success, first couple rounds, he has some moments. Once Inoue touches him, it's over for him. I mean, Ray Ford, who doesn't hit as hard as Inoue, but Ray Ford can crack. He was hurting Nick Ball when they fought. And they robbed Ray Ford of that win. He actually deserved to get the victory over Nick Ball. But that being said, they just need to be careful trying to put Nick Ball in there with him unless he's going to make his 15, 20 million to take the fight. And then you got Shu-Shu. Slow hood champion. Either you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. That's right, Legacy. So, but this is the thing with Bruce Carrington. Now, Bruce Carrington and Inoue, I still think Bruce is I think he makes the fight more interesting than Nick Ball does. You know what I'm saying? I do. I think with his reach, his boxing ability, the fact that he uses his legs well, he uses movement well. I think if he boxes, because he's a boxer puncher too, I think he can have some success. Does that mean he beats Inoue? No, I'm not going to say that. But he's one of the few, and y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, please. He's one of the few who I'd have to say has a real good chance at least making the fight competitive. But again, when you look at Inoue, his IQ, what he's done as an amateur, what he's done as a pro, what he continues to do as a pro, I just right now with the momentum he's going, even though he's at 122, he goes up to 126. I just think it's a bit too much for Shu-Shu to try to digest. But Shu-Shu would attempt it. He would attempt it. But I think Shu-Shu and Nick Ball really is an even more interesting fight, especially if Shu-Shu fights him and beats Nick Ball and picks up the WBA strap. But I think that fight with Nick Ball and Shu-Shu is more 50-50. Inoue against Shu-Shu, I think he wins. Inoue against Nick Ball, I think he wins. Because Inoue at some point in time is going to catch up to you. But Nick Ball and Shu-Shu is a more interesting fight. You see, Shu-Shu can knock you out. But I want to see how he looks in this next fight and just how much improvement he's made, because he has in fights not looked that spectacular because he'll want to kind of show off to the crowd. And if he has someone in front of him he's not too worried about, I think he'll almost let the fighter do too much, almost like Jerome Boopsinis when he fought Evanescence and he fought Chikaji in the rematch. It's like he's not really worried about what's coming back at him, so he lets the fighter do a bit more than what they should have been allowed. But at the end of the day, Shu-Shu can fight. I just think he's going to need to bring a lot more than just his Brooklyn heart into that fight to get a victory. I just think anyway, he comes in at guns blazing and he don't give a damn. He coming in to clip you. Do you have a personal top 15 pound for pound list? Not really, man. Not really. I don't. Okay, Gervonta Davis. Tank bit a Roach. Did you guys see the clip of Gervonta Davis? He bit Lamont Roach. Now, I'm not here to keep talking about that Tank Davis and Lamont Roach fight, but Tank Davis, he bit Lamont Roach, man. And some people are trying to figure out, well, why did he bite him? I mean, it's obvious why he bit him, because he didn't like what he was experiencing in the ring. You know what I mean? You can't be out here biting people and shit, man. And you look at Edgar Berlanga bit an opponent. He said the guy was fighting dirty. So as a result, he got frustrated and he bit him. There was he a Samoan fighter? There was a guy who bit a Samoan fighter. It was a while ago. We all know about Mike Tyson biting Evander Holyfield. But somebody else bit somebody, man. There's been several fighters who have bitten people. But the bottom line is when these guys start biting people, it's because they don't like what's happening in the ring. And for Gervonta Davis, I rewatched that fight with him and Roach. He wasn't comfortable in that fight. I know he threw less punches, but he landed more than Roach. But that doesn't mean anything. He did not like what was happening in that ring. And he bit out of frustration to try to get an upper hand. And to be honest with you, I'm just disappointed that Tank would come out here and bite somebody. Like Gervonta Davis, like you wouldn't expect for Gervonta Davis to bite somebody. You know what I'm saying? But that just lets you know, Lamont Roach, like we're on the outside looking in. We don't know what Tank's feeling. We don't know what he's experiencing. But obviously, he didn't like that shit. You know what I'm saying? He said Berlanga bit Angulo. Yeah, that's right. He bit Angulo because he said Angulo was fighting dirty. But that being said, going forward, in my opinion, Gervonta Davis needs to fight Lamont Roach. He needs to rematch Lamont Roach more than ever. More than ever, man. He needs to have that rematch because people already criticize Gervonta Davis' resume. They criticize Terrence Crawford's too, which I think is unfair. But damn, they're already criticizing your resume. They say you went out here and fought somebody who was qualified, although you brought him up from 130, cherry pick gone wrong. And the guy, many people feel beat you. And now you won't give him a rematch. So you're putting duck sauce on the fried rice. And I just think if Tank doesn't rematch him, man, I think that's going to forever haunt him. And it's just going to be something that he can't escape. You know what I'm saying? He said, "What round did Tank bite? Did he bite him?" I don't remember. I don't know which round, man. When I saw the clip and I did a video on it. I'm not sure which round it was, but he bit him. Matter of fact, Lamont Roach was narrating the fight, and he was like, "This is where he bit me." So no one even knew, because when you're watching it real time, you can't even tell that some of the shit that's going on in there. But the bite, I wouldn't have known he bit him if Lamont Roach wouldn't have slowed the video down and said, "Hey, look, right here, he tries to bite me." And he showed the video, and Tank, and it's clear as day. He bit him. I'm like, this is crazy, man. But if Lamont Roach wouldn't have said nothing, I mean, the naked eye would have never picked that up. It's crazy. Buzzwire, what's up? It says Tank has issues with Coach Calvin and he didn't seem focused. You know, that's a good point. You know, he wasn't focused. It's kind of like I was just talking about Teofimo when he fought Kambosos. There was issues in the corner, issues in training camp. You look at Tank, and I will tell you, the fact that he and Coach Calvin aren't on the same wavelength right now, I do think that contributed to some of the issues that Tank had before the fight and during the fight. Because even after the fight, I don't know if y'all saw, he walked by Coach Calvin. It's like he was going to walk through him. If Calvin didn't get out of the way, Tank would have just walked into him. Like some real confrontational, immature, you know, ignorant shit that he was doing. And I was like, yo, this is the guy that you call Pops, the guy who raised you. You know, you basically stepped into the shoes of his son when his son passed away. You know what I mean? And he stepped into the shoes of you not having a father. So y'all came together and formed a complementary relationship and trainer and pupil, but also a father and son type bond. So whatever is going on, you know, I don't know. But I would like to see them patch that up because it's shit's bigger than boxing. You can see Coach Calvin, like that dude wants to cry. I don't know what's going on with Coach Calvin. But when I start seeing these guys crying like that, there's something else going on. And I can tell you from experience, man, I'm 49. I ain't gonna sit here. I could care less what any of y'all think about me. You know, I've gone through shit as well. Sometimes you start talking and that emotion just comes out, you know, and most people had no idea that the different things I had going on with me. So when I watched that, I'm like, yo, that shit remind me of this situation. I hope they're okay. You know what I mean? I hope that guy's okay. But I do think for Tank to come back and rematch Roach, I think Coach Calvin and him need to be on the same accord, and I think Calvin needs to be in the camp. Barry Hunter's a good trainer, but he ain't Coach Calvin. And I know Barry Hunter has worked with Tank from a young kid. I think the first like 15, 20 professional fights, he was always involved in the corner. I get it, but he ain't Coach Calvin Ford. And I don't care what you say. My sons play sports, and when I talk to my son, I don't even have to say certain things. He just knows. You know what I mean? We have like looks and sign language, but his coaches can't have that connection with him. They're good, but it's different. And I think it's the same thing with Ford and Hunter. I just think it's a different connection. You know what I'm saying? The Messenger 215 says, I seen when the bite. Okay, so you saw it. Yeah, I didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? So you have better eyes than me. I didn't see it. But anyway, Tank did bite the Roach. You know, and now that they're talking about it, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if hopefully they leave the shit alone because it doesn't seem like he really got his teeth into him, but he tried. But hopefully they don't come back and try to find him and all that. But, you know, you never know how all this shit's going to work out. Now, since we're talking about Tank and people questioning his resume and Crawford and people question his resume, Crawford is back in training, right? I got 25 minutes before I bounce. Crawford's back in training. Now, I don't know if y'all saw the image of Crawford, but Crawford out here looking like a baked potato and shit. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means Crawford has been enjoying himself, enjoying his family. He's been traveling around the world, doing humanitarian work. Crawford's doing a lot of things that he doesn't normally talk about, and I can't blame him because he's not the kind of person that wants an attaboy for doing something that comes from his heart. You know what I'm saying? But Terrence Crawford, I want to know. Okay, let me get the message. It says, I want Tank versus Shakir, then Roach. Okay, I'll talk about that real quick before I get on Crawford because I got questions about Crawford. And make sure y'all hit the like button. Gervonta Davis and Shakir Stevenson. Who do y'all got winning that fight? Now, before Tank fought Roach, I had Tank destroying Shakir Stevenson. But now, after watching that fight, don't get me wrong, Shakir Stevenson isn't Roach. Gervonta Davis admitted Roach has power, extreme power. And Roach gave Tank credit for having extreme power as well. So both of those guys have some extreme power. Now, when it comes to Shakir Stevenson, I don't think it's a secret. He's sharp, he's got speed, he's accurate, he's got timing, but he doesn't have power. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't have the kind of pop that where the average Joe got in the ring with him and didn't really have the best of defense, that he couldn't hit you and hurt you because it's shots you get, you don't see. that really do the most damage. And Shakir has the ability to hit you with shit you don't see, okay? But I'm gonna be honest with you, man. If I don't know if Tank would beat Shakir Stevenson, because there's something else I learned about Tank Davis. He said he doesn't want to get embarrassed and lose a fight, especially get knocked out. And when he fought Lamont Roach, he did exactly what he needed to do to avoid having to confront his biggest fear as a professional boxer, not just losing, but getting knocked out. He did what he had to do. He bit the man. He took a knee. He moved around and was up on his toes. Now, don't get me wrong. He was trying. He was trying to knock out Lamont Roach. He really was trying. But he just wasn't able. He wasn't able to put a dent in him. And that's because of the mentality. Tank's mentality was, I don't want to get knocked out and get embarrassed. Roach's mentality was, you're gonna have to kill me. If I get knocked out, I just get knocked out. But I'm not gonna take a step back. I'm coming at you. So what happened there, they say boxing is mental more than physical, right? Just like sports and life. Shit is more mental than physical. What that showed me is that one person was mentally stronger than the other one, and Lamont Roach was. When it comes to Shakir Stevenson, is he mentally stronger than Tank? I got to be honest with you. I think he may be, because Tank doesn't want to lose and get embarrassed. And as long as he has that mentality, when he gets in the ring, if shit gets thick, he may go back to doing whatever he needs to survive or to avoid having to confront his biggest fear in boxing, which is losing, especially getting knocked out. And the last thing he wants is for Shakir Stevenson to hit him and just knock him down. I don't care if it's a flash knockdown, like when Cambosos hit Teofimo. He doesn't want to deal with that. He will never be able to live that down. But that being said, Shakir and Tank, I think that's a 50-50 fight. Because if Shakir can't hurt him, Tank ain't going to worry about him. He's just going to step to him. See, Roach can hurt Tank. Shakir can't hurt him. And Tank is too sharp. Now, we can't come and take it to the stupid night like Tank can't fight. Tank can fight. But if we're going to sit here and say he had a lot of things going on, personal life, professional life, with his coaches, that could have affected his performance, well, then let's not sit that aside and just all of a sudden say, oh, he's trash. He's always been trash. No, he's always been a solid fighter. It's the reason why he is where he is in his career. And why right underneath Canelo, Tank is the second big dog, okay? So let's not do that. But I do think Shakir has a better chance at getting a win than I initially felt after seeing Roach box, box, be smart, counter. I just think Shakir has a really good chance. Not sure if he beats him, but it's a more of a 50-50 fight than I thought it could have been. I just checked that clip. Tank definitely bit him. I got Shakir by unanimous decision. Yeah, Shakir, damn, boy. He says he's too sharp. Shakir hand problems. I don't know about his chin. Well, yeah, that's the other thing. I don't know about that chin either, but he does have bad hand problems. That's something else. You can't see. This is the thing. You can't get in the ring with Gervonta Davis and then all of a sudden you have a hurt hand. Gervonta Davis, that's like a crocodile seeing one of them little gazelles trying to swim across the river. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to sit there and say, oh, that's a baby gazelle. I'll just wait for mommy or daddy to come. No, they're going to gobble his ass up, rip him apart. That's what I think Tank's going to do. He's going to say, oh, you done brought your wounded ass in the ring with me? Are you crazy? And I think he's going to devour him. You know what I mean? Shakir ain't no Tank, but he do got respectable power, though. Yeah, I think he's got some pop. Again, his pop and Tank's pop and the type of pop needed to keep a guy like Tank honest. I don't know if Shakir has that, but he definitely could. If he hitting him with shots he doesn't see, could get Tank's attention. Tank with Calvin as a head coach only. Tank will beat Shakir. Shakir had great skills, but he don't have that dog in him. He can't take it. You know, I don't know if Shakir doesn't. I don't know if I say he doesn't have a dog in him. I think Shakir does. He just has a style that suits him. And in my opinion, Shakir should stick with what he does great, which is being a boxer / boxer puncher at times, and then / being a boxer runner, which is what he is most of the time. Because there's nothing wrong with boxing and running around the ring and moving. You know what I mean? That's his style. But where he's going to have a problem is if he wants to hold his ground and go through what Devin Haney went through for a moment where he wanted everyone to feel his power, to know he has power and he can knock people out. Devin Haney tried that shit with Linares. Let me tell you something. If Linares was if that fight had taken place 2 years prior, Linares would have knocked Devin Haney's ass out. Linares was a monster when he was in his prime. That speed and power, that's a boxer puncher right there, Linares. But of course, he's a bit older, and he was able to pull the trigger for that moment in that round where Devin Haney, stayed there too long, got hit with like that 6-punch combination. The last punch almost got him out of there. But the reason Devin Haney got hit because he was trying to prove to everyone that he had power, and he went there trying to exchange with that Venezuelan monster Linares and almost got his ass. 10 more seconds in the round, we got knocked out cold. And then he got in there trying to prove he had power with Lomachenko and got hit with a lot of shots he shouldn't have got hit with. And then he fought Regis Prograis and had some success. And as a result, he was like, oh, shit, yeah, the power's real at 140. Yeah, I got more power. No, if you don't have power, you don't have power. Just because you put on weight doesn't mean your hands become heavier. That's not how that shit works. Got in there with Ryan thinking that he had the power like He-Man and did by the power of Grayskull and shit. And Ryan put the goddamn bing bings on him. So I would hate to see Shakur Stevenson come out here and want to prove that he has power, especially against someone like Gervonta Davis. And Gervonta put them Baltimore bing bings on his ass and sent Shakur Stevenson with his tail tucked between his legs back up to Newark, New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? It says Shakur got fragile hands though. He keeps complaining about them. Yeah, man, that's a real thing, man. You've been fighting as long as they've been fighting. Yeah, well, you've been fighting as long as they've been fighting, man. You're gonna have some issues with your hands. And like me, I wasn't a professional boxer. I have boxed, but I mean, just being a guy who was in the military 25 years, even before I joined the military, I played sports my whole life. I'm here now at 49 because I've had surgery on my right shoulder. I've had a bicep tendon reattached. I got to go in for surgery on my left shoulder, get the bicep tendon reattached on my left side. I got bone spurs I got to get surgery on. I got to get surgery on my knees. I won't do it, though. And you say, well, damn, if you're in pain, why don't you do it? Because when I had this shit done, my rotator cuff on the right shoulder and bicep tendon reattached, it took like a year and a half to rehabilitate that shit. And I developed scar tissue adhesion that precluded the range of motion. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to go through that unless it's a life or death situation or the pain is just unbearable. I'm not going for any more surgeries. So I just look at how the level of activity I maintained for so long, and to look at these guys who are just almost, if you figure maybe out of 365 days a year, maybe 330 days out of a year, they're hitting something. Could you imagine that? Out of 330 days a year, maybe 300 days a year, they're hitting something with their hands, from little kids up to adults, always pounding on something, hitting something. So yeah, I'm surprised more fighters don't have issues with their hands. I know the problems I have with myself physically, from just running, boxing, lifting weights, doing all kind of shit, running marathons. I got all kind of pain, man. So yeah, I'm not surprised. All right, so we talked about Shu-Shu, Nick Ball, 17 minutes, Tank, bit of Roach, Berlanga with KO Plant, Crawford. Okay, Crawford. Then Canelo and Eubank Benn. Oh yeah, man. God, I got 17 minutes to talk about all that. I may run over, but so Crawford's back in training, like I was saying. All I want to know with Terrence Crawford, what is it that Bomac and the team, how are they going to keep him primed up and ready for a September fight with Canelo? He's not fighting at all. What is it that they're going to be doing in training camp? You know what I'm saying? What are they going to do in training camp that's going to ensure Crawford, who's basically going to come from an inactive state to go into an active state against a guy like Canelo, who's remained active and is out here getting busy and firing on all cylinders. Now, Canelo still has to get through Skull. Maybe Skull, the Cuban fighter, comes out there and he puts the bing bings on Canelo, and then everything goes up in smoke because Skull is the undisputed champion. I don't know. But what I will say is I'm expecting Canelo to beat Skull. Crawford gets an opportunity for the undisputed distinction. But they always say fighters need to be active. So all I want to know is what's the plan for Bomac and the team when it comes to Terrence Crawford? Because it's a lot of time. He's been out the ring for a minute already. So you figure he's going to be another 9 months in addition to the like 4 months or whatever, he's already been out the ring. So a year of inactivity going into a fight with a guy like Canelo. So I'm just curious to know what they're doing in training. But don't get me wrong. I know they're professionals. They're qualified. Crawford knows what he's doing. And when Crawford gets in that ring, he should be ready. But at the end of the day, it makes me wonder, right? And not wonder. I just want to make this statement. Crawford's not fighting for legacy. Crawford's fighting for money. That's not a bad thing. I know some people hear that and they take offense. Oh, what you mean? No, Crawford said he's fighting for money now. He wants the biggest names, the biggest fights, the biggest money. He didn't say he wants the biggest title distinctions. He ain't caring about that shit. It just makes it even more interesting that he fighting Canelo for another undisputed opportunity after bubbling up another 2 weight divisions. That makes it even more interesting. You know what I'm saying? Get the juices flowing. But if Crawford does happen to get in there and beat Canelo, which I favor Canelo to beat Crawford. I think Crawford can beat him, but I favor Canelo. But I think it's interesting that guys like, I know Andre Ward's always going to side with Terrence Crawford. Tim Bradley's going to side with Terrence Crawford. But Roy Jones is saying Crawford. He's saying Canelo should beat him, but Crawford has everything it takes to beat Canelo. Usyk's picking Crawford to beat Canelo. There's a lot of fighters, professional fighters. I'm not talking about these content creators. Most of those motherfuckers have never even boxed. They never even sparred once. They're just out here and just talk a bunch of bullshit about one fighter. They either like him or they hate him, and they have a following to just sit there and bash a fighter or praise a fighter. Y'all know me. I'm a retired cat. I don't give a fuck about none of that. All right. But what I will say is this. What is it that the individual who are qualified to comment, right? What is it they see in Crawford that makes them feel Crawford from bubbling up 135, 140, 147, 154, skipping 160 to go to 168 after a year of inactivity is going to get in there and beat Canelo? That's all I'm saying. Now, when Crawford fought Madrimov, look, I felt like Crawford beat him. I know some people felt Crawford lost. No, he beat him. Hands down, almost every round, Crawford beat him. And you know what Crawford showed me? I did not know Crawford can throw 45 to 70 punches around. I didn't know Crawford can do that. I looked at Crawford's punch output. I was blown away. So that tells me that Crawford, he has levels to his game. Now, when he fought Madrimov, that was a fight where it was there for Madrimov to win. But Crawford has something that I talk about that you only see in a few fighters. It's called the ability to up it. That means when you're in a fight and you're evenly matched, speed, power, IQ, chin, grit, determination, family, everything. And when you come in there and you and this person are as evenly matched as it can get. You know what's the main discernment when they start scrapping? Is one of them had the ability to up it. And Crawford, when he fought Madrimov, he had the ability to up it in that fight. And that's why he won. Because that shit could have gone left real quick. But Madrimov couldn't up it. You know who else has the ability to up it in a fight? He doesn't fight pro anymore. Floyd Mayweather. You know why most of them fighters couldn't beat Floyd? He had skills and everything and IQ. Floyd could up it. Not everyone can do that. And you know who else has the ability to do that and has shown that is Alexander Usyk. You watch Usyk in fights. He may get hit. He may get hurt. He may kiss the cross, whatever the hell he does. But he has the ability to up it. And when you have that quality, it's hard for someone to beat you. So with Crawford getting in here with Canelo, the fact that Crawford has the ability to up it, it tells me that if Canelo hits him with something, let's say he hits him and he buzzes him a little bit to where Canelo's not aware, but Crawford's like, holy shit, I didn't like that. I see why Jermell Charlo turned into Shakur Stevenson in here and ran around the ring. I don't want to get hit with that shit again. Crawford's going to make a change. He's going to make the adjustment. And he may get back to boxing. Because you notice when Crawford's in a fight, whenever he starts making adjustments, if his opponent was having success, you see that all of a sudden they're not having that success they were having before. Okay? When he fought Mean Machine, when he fought Mean Machine It's kind of like Caleb Plant and McCumbee. He went in there against Mean Machine. Caleb Plant went in there against McCumbee. Mean Machine was hitting Crawford with some shit. That was the most Crawford has ever been hit. Caleb Plant fought McCumbee. Caleb Plant was getting hit with some shit. But then Crawford made the adjustment. You come and sit down. Yeah, it's on the charge. Go ahead and get it, okay? That's my little man right there. Go ahead, Pocho. Yes, go ahead. He want chips and shit. But when you saw Crawford he made the adjustment. And then after that, you saw what happened. Just like with Caleb Plant. Made the adjustment. So if Crawford gets in there with Canelo and he finds like, damn, I'm getting hit with stuff and I'm getting hurt, I can see Crawford making adjustments. And all I'm saying is, when you see Crawford make adjustments, the fight changes. Canelo, I haven't, in the last like 5 or 6 fights, I haven't seen Canelo have to really make adjustments. Because I think Canelo really intimidates fighters before they get in the ring with him. I think they almost accept defeat. And make sure y'all hit that like button. I'd appreciate it. It's like they almost accept defeat. And so they don't even give themselves a chance. But how's Canelo going to respond when he's in there with somebody who's going to do like Bivol and is going to up it? Who's going to say, okay, the guy has some power. I've got the reach. I've got the footwork. I've got the better boxing skill set. I'm not going to fight his fight. He may try to punch my arms. He may cut the ring off. But I'm going to make sure that my output is to a point to where I paralyze that dude with my punch output and my speed, and some of those shots are going to get in there. Crawford, I'm not saying Crawford and Bivol are the same, but Crawford has the ability to do that too. You watch Bivol, he's another one. He can up it. When he fought Bertabiev, when he let his hands go, he paralyzed Bertabiev. He paralyzed him. What I mean is, a person goes full defense because you got all these shots coming at you. And then even when you bring it ready to let your guard down, guy takes a half a step back and hits you with 2-3 more shots. So you never know when and where the punches are coming. And I think Crawford has the ability to do that. My only concern with Crawford is the inactivity, man. That's why, I don't have a channel and I don't come out here talking to a bunch of these guys, man, like some of these other channels. But maybe I should reach out to Bomac and just say, hey, I'd like to ask you a question. Just how do you, he's not going to give it the game plan, but just say, how do you prepare for someone like Canelo, who's active, who's, at the pinnacle of the sport? How do you keep a guy like Crawford engaged, coming off a year in activity, to make sure he's more than prepared to get in the ring and, get a victory? Because I'll be honest with you, man, I'm sitting here, I'm dumbfounded. I don't know how he's going to do it. But I know that from what I've seen, he has the ability. But I would like to hear from Bomac because I just think it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. Where are we at now? It says, how do you compare Virgil's performance with Bud's since they both fought Madrimov? I think Virgil and Terence Crawford don't fight the same, man. Virgil is all gas, no brakes. And I'll say this. I'll say this, right? Virgil deserves all the credit in the world. But there's something going on with Virgil Ortiz that I didn't think he had anymore. And Virgil Ortiz can fight. Okay, he can fight. Madrimov can say that I was sick, I had bronchitis. I don't believe that. I don't believe that bullshit. There was nothing wrong with Madrimov. He pulled out the Bohachuk fight so he could fight Ortiz. And for them to say that the bronchitis had lingered on longer than what they anticipated, so he wasn't 100% when he fought Ortiz. Ortiz just has the ability to up it in fights as well. And Ortiz is going to fight. He's going to fight hard. Throws a lot of punches, throws a lot of hard shots. Ortiz is another one fighter. You got to damn near kill him. Like, if you don't kill Ortiz, he's going to be there right in front of you. He's still going to throw punches. So do I think Ortiz did a better job than Crawford? No, they have different styles. You know what I mean? Crawford's not a mash-up, crash-up type of fighter. No, Virgil Ortiz is a mash-up, crash-up type of fighter. Crawford had some bruising when he fought Madrimov. He had some swelling, something you're not really used to seeing. But Ortiz was all busted up. But that's Ortiz's style. So it depends on what we're comparing. Because a person can say, well, Ortiz, neither one knocked Marjamov out. You know what I mean? So I don't know. For me, I just think they both had solid performances. They both got the victories. I think Crawford's win was more convincing. But I do think Ortiz won the fight. But there's some people who feel Ortiz lost. Remember, everyone's going to have a different lens. Some look for the guy who, if you land one hard shot and wobble the guy, they give you the round. The other people say, okay, he landed one shot, but this guy outboxed you the whole round, so they give him the round. So, you know, I think they both did. They both deserve the victories. Pancho, what's up, Pancho Villa? He says, legacy remains. Yeah, no doubt, man. The legacy remains with Virgil Ortiz. But they're smart not to put him in with Murtazalia. Okay, so Crawford's back training. Let's see. I think he's looking like a baked potato right now, man. He bigger than what I'm used to seeing, but hey, it's off season. He was chilling with family, and now he's back in training. Canelo's money drunk. This is the other thing, right? No one's talking about it, but I'm going to throw it out there. Canelo should be the favorite against Crawford. But I watched Canelo make fun of Turkey Al-Sheikh and shaking and holding hands of fighters when they walk out when Canelo was about to fight Berlanga. I can't remember who he was walking with, but Canelo was trying to grab the guy's hand and hold it, and the guy pulled away, and they started laughing. That was them making fun of Turkey Al-Sheikh. But then I saw Canelo at the press conference with Skull, and Canelo was calling Turkey uncle. He was like, oh, Uncle Turkey, I'll take care of it for you, Uncle Turkey. I'm like, yo, you just went from calling this dude clown to call him uncle now? The money, which Canelo's already got dope. Businesses, he's made damn near $1 billion from boxing already. You coming out here now, man, you so caught up in this money, maybe Canelo's money drunk. And maybe that's going to be a distraction when he gets in there with Crawford, feeling that, hey, he's a small guy, there's weight classes for a reason, you know. But then one thing I got to say, I got to give Canelo credit. Although he said Crawford's a small guy, there's weight classes for a reason, he said, we're going to find out if Crawford's special like me. Because I was a smaller guy who bubbled up multiple weight divisions and was still able to dominate. He was like, if I was do it, Crawford can do it. He was like, but we will see. So I got to give Canelo his credit for recognizing that, hey, I can't say this guy won't be able to do what I've been able to do because he has proven that he's a special fighter. But we're going to find out. But for me, I'm just wondering, man, Canelo, probably with this deal with Turkey Al-Sheikh, Canelo probably would have made $1 million just from boxing purses. Just from fight purses alone, this deal would have probably pushed him over where he wanted to be. Now, something Canelo said, which a lot of people, because people don't be following boxing like that. They don't hear the shit I hear. He said he wants to make $1 billion from boxing. That's his goal. So if the deal with Turkey Al-Sheikh pushed him over $1 billion from boxing, what's Canelo's motivation now? You know what I'm saying? What's his motivation? There is no motivation. So all I'm saying is stars could line up on that night for Terence Crawford to where he gets a guy who's now become a billionaire from boxing, although he's probably a billionaire already with all his businesses he has going on. Someone who's looking at him like, oh, you're too small. You're nothing but another Jamel Charlo. And, you know, and you're coming off of a year of inactivity. You stand no chance to win. And I think they're fighting in, I can't remember where they're fighting at, Saudi? But anyway, if they're fighting in Saudi, Terence Crawford's going to have to come out there and try to acclimate and everything else. But anyway, I wouldn't rule out Crawford getting that victory. But I favor Canelo. But I'm just saying, man, I just wonder if Canelo's money drunk. Fam, I feel Crawford could prove a point at 154. I do see Crawford beating Canelo, but at a catch weight. Yeah, maybe, man. But I'll tell you this: there's nothing for him to do at 154, man. You know, Crawford is fighting for money. Who's he going to fight at 154? Murtazalia? You know what I mean? Virgil Ortiz? There's really nothing there that can motivate Terence Crawford. You know, a Canelo fight motivates him. But after Canelo, who or what's Crawford going to do? You go fight Canelo. If he beats him, they rematch. He makes another $100 million. That's $200 million or so. And what does he do? You know what I mean? So I think for those of you who are Terrence Crawford fans, or those of you who don't appreciate him, you better appreciate him now, because I think Crawford really, this is his last fight. And if he wins, he may have a rematch, and that'll be his last 2 fights. I think Crawford's going to bounce. You know, he keeps talking about when he's at home, he's busy with his real estate, kids, the gym they have, and kids from the community. If you listen to Crawford, listen to what he's saying. He's letting y'all know the time has come for me to exit the sport of boxing and focus on other things. I have a lot going on, but stars just lined up where he had Turki Al-Sheikh who wanted to work with him, because Crawford had that Saudi connection, whether you want to admit it or not. And we know when Turki's in the house, every day is Thanksgiving. Turki gonna put $100 million in his pocket to fight Canelo. So y'all watch. Crawford gonna retire, man. Facts, Hood. I feel Canelo's going to get set up by Turki somehow, some way. I don't know what's gonna happen, but what I will say is this: you can't come out here and insult the crocodile before crossing a bridge. And I think Tank Davis has insulted Turki Al-Sheikh, who would be the crocodile who guards the bridge. You want me to come over there, man? They're going to have to give me 2 Ferrari or 2 Lamborghinis or something. They're going to have to give me something. All that dumb, ignorant ass talk. Okay, you insulted the crocodile, Canelo. Why would I go over there? Why would I go over there holding hands and making fun of Turki Al-Sheikh? Turki Al-Sheikh just gave you all this money. Now you call him uncle. You think Turki Al-Sheikh hasn't forgot about Canelo clowning him? You think he hasn't forgot about Gervonta Davis talking about, yeah, 2 Ferrari, man? Turki Al-Sheikh can forget about that shit. And I will say this, as far as you saying somebody getting set up, I'll tell you what, Pancho, I happen to agree with you. And I wouldn't have agreed. Well, I would have. I'm always about the conspiracy theory and shit. But when I saw him go up to Hamza Shiraz, now I thought he saw the official judges' scorecards. But bottom line is, whether he saw them or not, he felt compelled to let the guy who he wanted to win, let him know, you need to do something. I got you down by 2 rounds. Whether he got that from the official scorecards or he got it off his own scorecard or just the awareness he had from watching the fight. If he will do that in front of lights, the cameras, and with the action going on, what would he do when no one's looking? When it's just him in that dark room with the black light swinging overhead, with the secret society standing behind him in black robes? What will he do? Okay, we got Canelo coming over here. We know every day is Thanksgiving when Turki is in the house. This is how this shit needs to go. And watch the referee's involvement. Referees should not be in referees' pockets. I mean, in promoters' pockets. And you watch these referees. My boy Steve Willis saw that shit he did with Gervonta. We all know Harvey Dock he's as corrupt as they goddamn get. Jack Reese, the guy who refereed the fight with Cologne, the guy Cologne fought and he got hit in the back of the head, man, and ended up with brain damage. That guy who reffed that fight is the same guy who reffed Amir Khan Lamont Peterson. That guy was corrupt as they come. So all I'm saying, when it comes to these referees, watch the referee's involvement in that fight. Tyson Fury and Usyk, I think, watch that referee. Tyson Fury had got hurt, and the shit that he allowed to happen to make sure Tyson Fury didn't get knocked out. So that's all I'm saying. I could be wrong. Yeah, right. But just watch that shit. Pancho Villa. Pancho, salute to you, champ. Always good to see you around. Yeah, Pancho's fair. He likes Canelo, but Pancho's fair. No, he likes Virgil Ortiz and Canelo. But Pancho's fair, but he had me cracking up in here. Legacy remains. We're here, fam. Exactly, Hood. Yep. Shouldn't they have open cards after each round? Man, if they had open cards, open scoring. If they had open scoring, man, I think there's pros and cons of open scoring. I did a video on this shit like 2 years ago. But what does that prevent? What does open scoring stop? to stop corruption. It's open scoring. You just hit a guy. You knocked a guy. You hit a guy and he buckled, and you dominated the round. But at the end of the round, for the last 15 seconds, he hit you with a nice combination, and they scored a round for the guy because he had 15 good seconds. But you had 2 minutes 45 seconds of good action, and you hurt him twice. But they give him the round. So now you hear that shit, and you're like, "What the fuck? I hurt that dude. How they scored 10-9 for him?" So that could distract the fighter. You know what I mean? That could create more of a distraction. So some people think that it's just going to, it's a perfect world we're in. We're not. That sounds great. And I don't know if there's more pros and cons to it, but all I know is for me, if I'm in a fight and I feel like I'm whipping your ass, and then I hear 10 for hood champion, 9 for turkey a la chic. I'll be like, how the hell turkey? I know what turkey's in the house every day is Thanksgiving, but how he get the round over me? So now you go in and you may not have the focus you need. But I think open score, I think there's some pros to it as well, though. You know what I'm saying? Fighters know if he's up or down. They should. They should know. They should know what round they are in too. Like Tank talking about, he didn't know his corner. They didn't know it. All this bullshit. I don't believe that. I don't believe the corner knows what round it is, and the fighter should know too. If he doesn't know, the corner should be telling him. There's no way for the fighter to not know what round it is. That's all bullshit, man. All right, lastly, I'm over an hour, 6 minutes over. I'll just talk about Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, and then I got to go. I got to go exercise and take my son to go to the driving range. He wants to go hit the golf balls. Yo, Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, man, is the saddest fight that's been announced since I've been watching boxing, man. This is horrible. This is horrible. I don't like it. I'm watching Eubank Jr. and watching Conor Benn. Neither one of them seem to be mentally stable. Neither one of them seem to be happy. They both seem to be grieving. It's just these promoters, these guys are money hungry. But the boys are adults, man, right? They want to fight each other. They signed. I mean, nobody forced them, but I think that they were motivated to go after it just from a financial aspect. But I'm watching both of them. Eubank Jr. is still grieving his brother. He's grieving over his dad not having the relationship with him that he would like because his dad is still grieving the loss of his son, which is understandable, man. Conor Benn is out here and he's kind of grieving still over everything that he's gone through in his career. He wants us to believe he's innocent. But, and the sad thing is, let's say Conor Benn he didn't knowingly take something. Someone gave him something, which he was working with Usman Sajjad. But the problem is, Usman Sajjad came out here and said all this crap about how easy it is to skirt the system and take peds and not be detected. So if you're working with a guy like that, it's going to be hard for people to believe that you didn't know what he was doing. But nonetheless, if Conor Benn really is a victim, then it's unfortunate for him. So you got these two guys who, to me, I just don't think they can afford to take a loss against each other. If Eubank Jr. were to lose to Alan Canuli, so what? If Conor Benn went out here and lost to Boots Ennis, so what? But for the two of them to lose to each other, I just think that's a heavier blow than having lost to a different opponent. In addition to that, I think what they've done is they've kind of peeled the scab back off of all the chaos that surrounded their fathers when their fathers fought in 1990 and 1993. You know what I'm saying? So now these children are carrying that weight on their shoulders entering this fight. And when I sit back and look at it, now as a boxing fan, I'm like, okay, I can't wait to see this fight. But as a human being, I'm like, nah, I don't like this shit. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, man, that mental health shit is real. There's a reason why I didn't return back to work. I wanted to, but I retired, and then I was still on terminal, and I took a job, and I put on my suit and tie because that's what it would have been in a consulting capacity. And I got in my driveway in my car. Man, I turned that shit off, came in the house, snatched that tie and suit off. My wife was like, "You're not going?" I'm like, "Fuck that." I just felt a kind of way because I wasn't ready for that shit. So when I watch these guys, I'm like, I hope that they're in a much better mental space than I was. I'm much better now, but at that point I wasn't. So when I'm watching them, I'm seeing a little bit of me in those guys, and I'm like, man, I hope they got this shit together, because both of them look like at any moment they could start crying when they start talking. I'm like, one of these dudes are gonna sit here and crack. So it's just, cracked like an egg, like that egg Eubank Jr. cracked, slammed into the face of Conor Benn. But for me, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all, man. But Eddie Hearn, shame on him, man. Same way he put that guy in there, that cab driver against Edgar Berlanga last night. Shame on him for, first of all, trying to cover up Conor Benn's positive ped test and was going to allow him to go in the ring with Eubank Jr., who had killed himself to get to 157, a place where he should never, ever be as far as his weight. So Conor Benn would probably kill Eubank Jr. But now Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, they agreed to fight, but Eubank's only coming out of 160. But still, everything about Eddie Hearn, he will tell you, I'm all about the money. The man even said he would tie Turkey Al-Sheik's shoes. If he gets down on his knees to tie Turkey Al-Sheik's shoes, that means he'll get down on his knees and do something else for money. And if you got a guy like that who's open and telling you, I'm all about money, when it comes to these fighters, he's not going to care about their well-being. Oh, his whole thing is they're going to make gazillions of dollars. Okay, but that money don't matter if you're not right up here. But you good because you're not taking the punches, but you getting paid too. So, man, I don't know. I just don't like the fight. That's just me, man. Hood, I used to rock with Canelo, but ever since he avoided Benavidez, I lost respect for Canelo. Facts that Conor Benn fight is going south real quick. Yep. Yeah, I don't know why he won't fight Benavidez, man. I'll be honest with you. I don't know why Canelo won't fight Benavidez. I don't know. At this point, I don't know. Except for he knows Benavidez is a threat. If you'd say Canelo, you could pick Benavidez or Berlanga. You can understand why he took Berlanga. Berlanga is an easier meal to digest. Canelo, you got Benavidez or Crawford. Crawford's an easier meal to digest. So you could look at fight Munguia or Benavidez. Munguia is an easier meal to digest. When you look at it on paper, Canelo's picking the easier fights. And I'm not saying those guys are pushovers, but they're not Benavidez. And I don't think he'll ever get Benavidez. Anyway, I had an hour, but at the end of the day, I got to jump off. Let me get to Pancho Villa's comment here. Hood, with all due respect, thank you for serving the great country of the United States. I'm a Mexican citizen, but I grew up in Cali. I love the United States and always will. Salute, fam. Yeah, man, no problem. I appreciate it, man. I'm born in Boston, but I grew up in Trinidad and Tobago as a kid. Then, of course, came back to the United States, man. But I got a Twitter. Not a Twitter. It's called TikTok. I got a TikTok channel. My son has my phone. But on that channel, I talk nothing about boxing. I talk about growing up, different culture, being biracial, loving everyone, hating none. Contrasts make the world beautiful. I should start sharing more shit on this channel with y'all, so y'all could go over there and subscribe to that stuff and see the videos I do there. Over there, you get a different side of me over there. Over there, I don't talk nothing boxing. I'm talking life. So maybe I'll share that. Maybe I'll share that. I need to do a video, like an intro where it says, hey, and also you can get my merch here, and you can follow me on TikTok, and where I'm talking about this, and my Instagram and Twitter. I need to put together a proper introductory video, or a video you place in the middle. I need to do something like that, man. But I got merch and all that, man. I don't know if you guys even aware of that, but I got all that shit, man. If you go to just the YouTube channel, just go to them and buy a Hood Champion coffee cup, or a Hood Champion Don't Take It to the Stupid t-shirt, or a hat, a bag, buy something. But yeah, I got all that. He says, how can we find you on TikTok, Hood? I'll tell you right now. Because I was just on there. Let me see. Rasul, bring my phone for a second. I'm going to tell you right now. My son's bringing my phone. I'll give it right back. Hand me the phone, baby. I'll give it right back. Stay right there. It is so the okay. All right, let me see. You know, I don't even really mess with this shit, but it's okay. It's at Dogwood 1975. So I think that's my name right there on TikTok. That's the TikTok name at Dogwood 1975. And it's yeah, I think that's how it is. Dogwood 1975. Yep. That's how you find me on TikTok. And then at Twitter, I'm always on Twitter, man. At Twitter, just Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. Let me see. Because I never put that stuff up, man. But I need to. But you know, I like to talk boxing, man. But let me see. What is it? Oh, it's right there. HCB. Okay, see. Copy. Right here. Then that's Twitter right there. For anybody who want to follow me on Twitter. Then I got an Instagram. It's the same thing, Hood Champion Boxing Sports on Instagram. But since I'm on here, let me show y'all the since I'm out here doing this, let me show y'all on Spreadshop where you can get the merch, man. Because I have an account. And I'll show y'all real quick before I jump off. I apologize. I need to do a better job of sharing this stuff with everybody, but man, I'm so busy with my sons, man. It's crazy, you know. But it's no excuse. Shit, I could do a better job. Okay, here we go. All right, let me show y'all the Spreadshop stuff. Logging in right now. I'm not a robot. Oh, this bullshit. Okay, here it goes right here. Calculate income. All right, let me go to my channel. Okay, right here. So let me share this with you. Present, share screen, Spreadshop. Okay, right here. Okay. So this right here, let me take Pancho V off. All right, so this is my Spreadshop. So you see, you got you got some products here. You can get this one, you can get that one. The Secret Society, don't take it to the stupid. And I have some more. Where are the other ones? Let me see if I can expand preview. Where's the other one? Oh, okay. This is the Don't Take It to the Stupid t-shirts right here. These are the organic shirts. Let's do all designs. Okay. It's all the designs right there. I like them all, but this one right here is the one I like. The Don't Take It to the Stupid. You get the mugs, you get the shirts, you get the jacket, you know. But you can go and you can get this one here if you like that one. Get the hoodies, get the cups, the hats. All right. But anyway, you just go over there. I might as well just put this link in there, right? But man, if you guys want, you just go check it out. You know what I'm saying? I'd appreciate it, but again, it is no obligation, man. You know what I'm saying? But if you do, I appreciate it. And consider becoming a member to the channel. I figure we're almost at 13,000. If I can get 13,000 people to just give me $1 a month, then I would just do this shit all day. I do a lot of videos, but I would be on this shit, no kidding, from 9 in the morning. No, because I dropped my kids off. So probably from 9:30 or 10 o'clock, they give me a chance to go exercise, workout. From 10 to 2:30, I would go live every Monday through Friday. From 10 to 2:30, I would be on here. That would be my job. But, you know, I only think I have like 3 people who are paid members to the channel. So I don't know, man, but it's all good. Anyway, I got to bounce, man. I got some things to do. I appreciate your support as always. Y'all keep cool. I'll try to go live more often during the week, especially because the summer's not here yet. But when the summer comes here, man, I'm going to be all over the world traveling with my boys. But y'all keep cool. Appreciate the conversation. Appreciate the support. I got to bounce, all right? In the breeze.